Happy Monday. It's July 20th. Hard to believe that we're almost at the end of the month. I think January literally lasts 2 months long, and then we get June and July, and you ask yourself, where the hell did they even go? It's the worst part about summer. It literally flies by. I'm thankful tonight. I'm excited to be here. This has been a lot of fun. I know I said it last week, but I am enjoying the feedback that I'm getting from people. I mean, we're at 79 subscribers. Is it exploding? No. Even to have 79 subscribers in a short period of time, getting some views, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, people that I did not expect to come up to me or say anything about it no matter where I'm at, which is pretty neat. I just like to talk. I mean, literally a nobody from Lincoln, Maine. So the fact that my words hold any bearing, I guess, with people is pretty friggin' cool. Weekend locally has been a weekend. It was, we have, it's our quote unquote homecoming, Lincoln Loon Fest, whatever you want to call it. And, parades, fireworks, stuff of that nature. Great time. Kim had her 25th high school reunion night. Went to that. Great conversations with people. It was so nice to catch up because her class, which graduated in my class that graduated 2000, we were both very tight and intertwined. All of our parents were like each other's parents. Everyone watched out for one another. It was just a great time to be alive. So it was good to have that dialogue with everyone. Excuse me. A very, very bad accident took place during Loonfest. An impaired driver jumped a curb and wound up hitting a mother. Thank God the father could see it happening and he got his kids out of the way. They were in a stroller. One was in a stroller. The father wound up with some broken ribs. The mother, she's got a long road ahead. Our town is amazing in moments like this, where even though it is so much chaos right now, the town is rallying together to help this family. And one person that's spearheading this, which I have got to do a follow-up to last week's episode of Ballers, Killers, and Savages, is Danny Raval, who owns multiple businesses in this town. Absolutely wonderful human being, him and his family. And he is personally donating, I believe, 5 cents for every gallon or every dollar spent at his gas stations of Why Not Stop and Danny's Express. The proceeds to go towards his family. It's incredible. That's the one thing I will say I love about this town. When things of that nature collide, we really rally. No matter what's happening in the background, at the end of the day, we have a lot of good people in this town. So very fortunate on that front. Been racking my brain. My head never stops. I've got so many ideas, and I'm trying to make this podcast I'm trying to make it successful and something that people want to tune into. I would really, really appreciate not only the follows and the subscribes, the shares, the likes, but of what you folks want to talk about. Or what do you want to hear? Do you want to try and keep this podcast non-political? Who knows? If it gets to that, we can, discuss it then. I would love to I wouldn't mind having politicians on here, I guess, just to talk. So get some verbiage out there. I'd be okay with that. But here I am contradicting myself, but I just think it'd be interesting. It's always fun when you get to have someone that's in a political office or whatever be able to speak. So that could be fun. But for the most part, want to keep it political free. We'll see. This week, this accident really goes to show how important our fire and EMS are for the town of Lincoln. And right now, our town is so torn apart over taxes and stuff. State the state of Maine right now is ridiculous with so much that's going on. I don't care what side of the fence, but it's just chaos. We're always in the news. And we've got what's going on in the nation, which seemingly is never ending. I guess what I'm trying to get back to is the fact that since COVID, I feel like so many people feel compelled to take to the keyboard. There is so much negativity in this world all around us every single day, and people just want to keep that going. I've had some great talks with people that I truly admire and think the world of. There was one gentleman, for instance, that I've looked up to as a kid so long. For lifter and I can't remember if he ever bodybuilt or not, but always a jacked man that just truly loved. I noticed that a lot of his Facebook posts were getting very, very political, and every day he was seemingly very, very angry. And I reached out to him and I was just like, you may want to revisit even having Facebook. It's not making you happy. You're watching the news every day and it's pissing you off. And he's like, you're not wrong. Facebook fixes nothing. It literally does not. And I don't know how to get that through to people's heads, but it doesn't fix anything. It's almost like a dopamine fix, though. You're hoping to get a like, hoping to get a comment, whether it's someone that disagrees with you or agrees with you, because then it makes it feel validated, right? It gives you the opportunity to argue. No one has face-to-face conversations anymore, arguments, fights, anything of that nature. It's all behind a keyboard. And I swear to God, COVID made everyone feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And it's so unfortunate because a lot of these people are good people, but they just seemingly want to find the bad in no matter what it is. It's literally endless. You pick a topic, you pick anything. It could be LeBron James, which my favorite player anyway. Weather. Pissed off at the weatherman, missed the mark with the weather, so we got to take to the keyboard, and Facebook will fix it. A bad experience at a restaurant, at a mechanic's garage, whatever. 9 times out of 10, these people aren't even talking to the business about the problem that happened or occurred, but they take to Facebook first. Or a Google review. I personally am a big fan of Google reviews. No matter where I go, I try to leave one. And I'm never going to, let me think about this for a second. Unless it's horrible. If the experience was like a wall terrible, I'm not going to leave a bad review. It would have to be something very, very detrimental to me to leave an awful review. Doesn't happen very often. I'm the type that if a bad experience occurred, I would rather talk to the owner, waiter, waitress, the garage owner, something like, hey, happened, how can we make it right, etc. Now, if they opt to not do the right thing and come good for it or whatever, or any remorse or compassion, all gloves are off at that point, right? Ultimately, if the person tries to make it right by you, you can at least leave a positive review. So many people, I see it so often, and you just want to say, I do my best to not engage with that stuff, but you just want to say, what did that fix? What did you coming onto Facebook or whatever social media platform fix for you by bitching about something? Nothing. More than likely, nothing. And a lot of people, call them out. Did you talk to the owner? No? Okay, so why are you here on Facebook? And there's nothing worse as a business owner finding out secondhand about a displeasure about your business that you were unaware of on the internet. Come see me first. Why did you have to do this? I see it more often than not. Take it as you will. People that are retired. It seems to be the past few years, people that are retired aren't aren't afraid to start little igniters or be a part of something where it's like gang up on something, right or left or up or down. But 9 times out of 10, they're not the type of people that have it in their DNA to have a face to face discussion, whether it gets heated, whether it doesn't get heated. But by God, they're going to take to the keyboard, right? I don't understand it. And none of us were brought up that way. Especially their age bracket. There was no fucking internet. You know? A lot of them had to deal with face to face confrontations back then because that's all you had, right? Why the hell feel compelled to fire everyone up now? I don't get it. Not enough people are finding the least bit of good out of anything anymore, and I don't know why that is. It's all focused on the negative, whatever didn't happen, or we used to do it this way, but now it's being done that way. Things change, life changes. You know, big sports fanatic, like we've spoke about prior episodes. Sports are different now across the board. Life changes, everything changes, friendships change. Even with your parents, you grew up with, everything changes daily, yearly. So I don't know why the constant negativity. I personally got rid of the news off any of my socials. I want to say a couple years ago now. Found myself, well, especially after the 2020 election, it not going in the favor that I wanted. I was that guy who constantly was waiting for a revote, a recount, anything, because how dare this election turn out this way? Found it consuming me, right? Then 2024 election comes on, and it was kind of like, all right, off, no matter what happens. And now I'm having to withdraw myself further and further away from stuff. I'll have people send me, I don't know if it's because I'm co-president of the Chamber of Commerce in town. People feel compelled to send me things that has to do with the town council and whatever. I don't want to be involved. You know, I've spoken my piece, but I've got a trajectory where I want to go, where I want my business to go, where I want my life to go. And getting sucked down the rabbit hole of town politics, state politics, nationwide politics doesn't help my end goal at all. I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. All I can do is attempt to make the most amount of money that I possibly can make. I have a goal in mind. You know, I've spoken about it with people that are close to me. You know, and some may think it's too far-fetched. Some may think it's lowball. I don't care. Having that I just turned 45, I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 50. That's my goal. I hit that, I want to keep going. But that's where my trajectory is. So I don't have the time to get sucked into this crap anymore and find displeasure with people that I disagree with and stuff of that nature. It's a time suck. It's a life suck. And, you know, if there's anything that I can do is project to even one person, if you're finding yourself going down that rabbit hole like I was, back out of the throttle. Life is way too short to allow that to consume you. We don't know anymore if what we see on the news, what we see on our phone, we don't know if any of it's true anymore. Like, there's been so much shown that a lot of the stuff that we thought was truth is lies. So allow it to consume you, get mad about, ruin your home life, right? Let's face it, if one of you is consumed with it all the time, it's taken away from your kids, your wife, or your husband, whatever the case may be. So I really hope that eventually us as a whole, we can stop with this chaos. And I know it's a pipe dream. It is. But you may see social medias not necessarily go away, but kind of be on the back burner. I think there will come a point where people get back to more real life talks in person. Not necessarily phone calls, because I'm one of those that I hate phone calls. I only got like a couple people that we do phone calls, and it's just because they're old school and they're my buddies and whatever. But for the most part, I enjoy face to face interaction much more than a phone call or something. But I've even been called out on it by Kim, because like either use Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger, and she's like, "Why don't you just text me?" I'm like, "I don't know. That's a great question." But I'm going off on a different path here. But I just hope that people get back to happiness in their lives, face to face interactions before it's too late, and you don't get those back, and you ruin friendships. I know that I lost friendships between the 2020 and 2024 election, all because of just being boisterous on the internet. And looking back, it was so foolish and stupid. And some of those friendships, it's too bad that they got tired of me, versus just having a talk and just being like, Chad, just shut the fuck up. I can take that a lot better than you go on and it says add friend or whatever. It's like, oh shit, what'd I do to piss them off? Kind of a bummer. Like, I liked you. But so anyway, that's what I got tonight. I'm excited. Like I said, I may even do 2 episodes this week. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I got a lot of work to accomplish this week. I know that I am waiting on pins and needles, and I don't care if anyone agrees or disagrees, for LeBron's decision. I'm so excited about his decision. I need a new jersey. I'm a huge jersey collector. All right. Do I subtly want him to go back to Cleveland because that's where he started? Absolutely. Do I want him to go back to South Beach because it was pretty cool down there? Absolutely. But I'd also love to see him play with Steph Curry. So there's that. Philadelphia 76ers makes no sense. Timberwolves makes no sense. So those are my 3 picks. Hoping he goes there. We'll see. Let's have some talk about it. Chatter with me, guys and girls. Interested. I'm here for it. So again, thank you. I appreciate you, and have a great night.